You are watching the adventures of Daphne and her gal pals. Starring Taylor and Riri, the gal pals. And this week's episode, A Day at Daphnes Studio. The girls were asked to work as floaters on their job today. That meant they would fill in wherever someone was needed. The first job the girls were given was to inspect the material as it came in. The material was rolled out onto the long tables, and the gal pals were to look for flaws. And they looked, and they looked, and they looked, and they looked. They found no flaws in this piece of material. Now they had the awesome task of folding it. There was so much fabric to fold. It was a while before the girls got the piece of material folded. They were informed that that fabric was actually for pillows. Bed pillows that were made in the housewares department. The girls had been given a tour when they first started at Daphnes Studio, but they didn't remember the housewares department. As they folded, the girls discussed whether they liked this kind of work. They spent most of the morning just inspecting the material and folding it, inspecting the material and folding it. The actual folding of the material wasn't bad, and the girls liked the music that they heard over the loudspeaker. The girls chit-chatted about how the work was coming at home. And how they both couldn't wait to start on their own bedrooms. The gal pals finally finished folding that piece of fabric, and it was on to the next task. The next assignment was spent in the pillow room. After inspecting each pillow, they were to take and push it through the opening. And then they pushed it through the opening and it fell into a wooden box. They looked at the pillows, they looked at the corners, they checked to make sure that all the stitches were good. The girls took their time looking at each pillow, making sure that they were well made. The job in this department was called quality inspection. The final step before the pillows were stuffed. Riri and Taylor admired the workmanship that the sewers had done. The gal pals loaded all the pillows into the wooden bin. And they were off to their next assignment. They wondered what it would be. Next job, stuffing pillows. Can you believe it? We get to stuff the pillows. The gal pals carefully stuffed the corners of the pillows. Taylor and Riri were careful to make sure that the pillows were nice and fluffy. Even though the job didn't look hard, it was a little strenuous standing on your feet. Of course, Taylor started complaining about how tired she was. Riri kind of liked the assignment. Not bad, she thought. When the girls finished stuffing the pillows, they placed the completed pillows in the box. They were really surprised at how quickly they seemed to do this job. The girls stuffed the pillows and dropped them in the box. And they stuffed, and they stuffed. Stuffed the pillow and dropped the next one in the box. Riri and Taylor began to discuss who would probably buy this pillow, who would be using the pillow that they had actually stuffed. The two made up stories about the people that would buy these pillows. Maybe it will be an adult. Maybe someone in the hospital. Riri remarked, whoever it is, they'd be getting quality because we do the best. The girls stuffed and dropped the pillows in the box until the box was full. And it was time for them to float on over to their next job for today. On this assignment, they were to just tidy up the stock room. The girls were so busy looking at the fabric that was rolled up in the large bundles. Taylor walked over to look at the piece of orange organza that was rolled up on the tube. The fabric in this room was to be used to make curtains. The shears that would be made out of this would be gorgeous, Riri remarked. The girls unrolled a little of the fabric just to feel the texture. Taylor and Riri heard their names announced over the loudspeakers. The girls rolled the fabric back onto the roll. The announcement said that they were to report to the main office. The gal pals worked together to shove the fabric back into the appropriate bin. Their days spent as a floater had been very productive. Well, it was off to the office they went so that they could find out why they were called. The girls had had a great day exploring Daphnes Studio. On their way to the office, the girls talked about how adventurous their day had been at Daphnes Studio. Be sure to watch next week's episode of The Adventures of Daphne and Her Gal Pals. You can watch previously recorded episodes of The Adventures of Daphne and Her Gal Pals on YouTube at NCTV 45 and look for children's programming.